New York's most expensive political war and the most powerful voices from opposing sides, the New York Times and New York Post, appear suddenly united against one man, anybody but Mamdani. This is a fight not just for the soul of New York City, but for the future of American socialism, billionaire donor power, and the battle lines against rising authoritarianism. He's still the 3-to-1 favorite. Despite the media siege, Mamdani is the front-runner. The latest Quinnipiac, 46-33-15. Prediction markets price him at about 84%. Follow the money. How do you attack a candidate who runs on a rent freeze and free mass transit? You attack him with money. PACs and super PACs have already invested about $22 million, with another $20 million loaded for the final stretch.
Mamdani is a risk we can't afford.
It was the soundtrack of the Democratic mayoral primary earlier this summer, where a major super PAC supporting Andrew Cuomo spent tens of millions of dollars unsuccessfully trying to defeat Zohran Mamdani.
This is just the outside money. For comparison, the primaries citywide saw a record about $46 million. Who's writing the checks? Reports show heavy outside spend. A truth-out tally pegs about $19 million from billionaire donors. Names like Michael Bloomberg and Bill Ackman, with Ricky Chandler and Marty Berger also flagged. This is the final battle for City Hall. But the real test, the $6.8 billion test, starts the day after the vote in a courtroom. Mamdani promises a rent freeze for all stabilized apartments. That's $6.8 billion in savings for tenants. To do it, he needs the Rent Guidelines Board, the RGB. The board must look at the evidence. Two simple money checks matter most. First, NOI, net operating income, the cash after bills. Second, DSCR, debt service coverage. In plain English, can the city's landlords even pay the mortgage? If a freeze drops NOI, DSCR failure means properties collapse into foreclosure headlines. In the Bronx, owners report about $120 per unit per month in losses already. As reported, if the Rent Guidelines Board ignores the math and forces through a political freeze, landlords file an Article 78 case the day after the vote. That's the legal bomb they don't want tenants to see coming. It lets a court decide if the city broke its own laws and acted politically instead of by evidence. If the record looks political, a judge could block or delay year one implementation. The fight isn't only in courtrooms, it's in classrooms. A push to phase out early entry to gifted and talented sparked a hornet's nest of criticism. Polling impact, unclear. There's also a global flashpoint. Rivals hit him over his support for the UN Commission of Inquiry on Gaza. Big picture, he pulled the race away from crime and toward affordability. The ballot is one fight. The $6.8 billion court fight is next. That's the test of whether the 3-to-1 favorite can govern. Part 2 unpacks the $12 billion spreadsheet war, line by line. Part 3 takes you inside the $450 million taxi win and the political vibe war. Part 4, a mystery bonus drop. Watch to find out. Hit subscribe now to stay in the room where the real numbers drop. Open the description for receipts. Comment for more.